Hello everyone, I am Sheetal Yadav, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, G.H. Raisoni Academy of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. Today, in this presentation, we will discuss about an introduction of Z-transform. Z-transform plays an important role in discrete analysis. Its role in discrete analysis is the same as that of Laplace transform and Fourier transform in continuous system. Communication is one of the fields whose development is based on discrete analysis. Difference equations are also based on discrete system and their solution, and that analysis are carried out by Z-transform. Content to be learned in this topic Z-transform, definition of Z-transform, types of Z-transform, its convergence, properties of Z-transform, inverse Z-transform, method to solve inverse Z-transform and its application. Now, types of Z-transform and definition. Z-transform is denoted and defined by Z of f of n equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity f of n z power minus n, where capital Z is operator of Z-transform and small z is a complex number. Its two types depend on its limit. If summation n equal to 0 to infinity, then it is called as the one-sided, and if your summation is n equal to minus infinity to infinity, then it is called as the two-sided Z-transform. The answer of Z-transform of f of n is denoted by capital F of Z, and we find Z-transform of sequence f of n. Convergence of Z-transform. The value of Z for which Z-transform converges, that is its RHS tends to finite value, is called as the region of convergence. Now, properties of Z-transform. We have here 8 properties of Z-transform: linearity property, change of scale property, multiplication by positive integer and shifting property, Z-transform of discrete unit step function, initial value theorem, final value theorem, and integral property. So let us discuss about property. So property 1, linearity property. Z-transform is distributed over addition and subtraction. Z-transform of A f of n, B g of n minus C h of n. So you may take here constant ABC outside of Z operator, and Z-transform of f of n is f of Z by definition of Z-transform. So in this way we can distribute Z-transform over addition and subtraction. Property 2 is a change of scale property. If Z-transform of f of n is equal to f of Z, then Z-transform of A power n f of n, it is equal to f of Z by A. So what does this property say here? If Z-transform of f of n is equal to f of Z, and if you multiply any number A power n to the f of n, then what is change in your answer f of Z? So your answer change f of Z to f of Z by A. See here example, find Z-transform of A power n by using change of scale property. By definition of Z-transform, we have Z-transform of f of n equal to summation n equal to 0 to infinity f of n Z power minus n. Let sequence be f of n equal to 1, and by definition we find here f of n equal to 1, f of Z equal to Z upon Z minus 1. Find Z-transform of 1, and Z-transform of 1 is Z upon Z minus 1. So apply here property, change of scale property. So Z-transform of A power n into 1, replace all that Z by A. So we get here answer Z upon Z minus A. So answer of Z-transform of A power n is Z upon Z minus A. Now property 3 is a multiplication by positive integer n. If Z-transform of f of n equal to f of Z, then Z-transform of A power n f of n, it is equal to minus Z d by dz of f of Z. By definition of Z-transform, we have Z-transform of f of n is f of Z. So if you multiply your sequence f of n by positive integer n, so what is change in your answer? Your answer f of Z is differentiated with respect to Z, that is d by dz of f of Z, and get multiplied by minus Z. So here is a related proof and related steps for multiplication by positive integer n. Property 4 is a shifting theorem. If Z-transform of f of n equal to f of Z, then if your sequence is of the form Z-transform of f of n plus k, then what is change in your answer? That is f of Z get multiplied with term Z to the power minus k and subtracted with term summation I equal to 0 to k minus 1 into f of I. where k is greater than 0. So here is a related proof of shifting theorem. So for this we again consider the term Z transform of f of n plus k and apply here definition of Z transform, then adjust here term Z power minus k into Z power k to bring Z to the power n plus k. Like this we have here adjust term Z power minus k into Z power k, and Z power k take outside of summation sign, put n plus k equal to m. Again we are putting n plus k equal to m, then there is a change in the limit. So when n equal to 0, so we m equal to k, and n tending to infinity, so m equal also tending to infinity. Put all these value in equation 1. Then we have summation m equal to 0 to infinity f of n Z power minus m equal to summation m equal to 0 to k minus 1 f of m Z power minus m. Split that limit, that is m equal to 0 to k infinity. We split this limit into two parts, m equal to 0 to k minus 1 and m equal to k to infinity. Then multiply both sides by Z power k. Z power k outside of summation sign. Then summation m equal to 0 to f of m Z power minus m, that is definition of Z transform. This is not a definition of Z transform, so we write this term as it is, and by 1 this term is equal to Z transform of f of n plus k. So we keep this term here as it is and take remaining term to the RHS. So we get here this term. So we have here again take Z power k is constant common, and in bracket we have f of z minus summation m equal to 0 to k minus n f of m Z power minus m. Replace m by I on both sides, so we get the related proof. Property 5 is the Z transform of discrete unit step function. As we know, unit step function is denoted by u of n and it having only two values 1 and 0. 1, u of n equal to 1 for n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is equal to 0 when n is less than 0. So Z transform of u of n equal to Z transform of 1, and by definition we have Z transform of 1 is Z upon Z minus 1, that is the standard value of Z transform of 1. Shifting with discrete unit step function, that is our sixth property. If Z transform of f of n equal to f of z, then Z transform of f of n minus k u of n minus k equal to Z power minus k into f of z. If your sequence is of the form f of n minus k into u of n minus k, so what is change in your answer? That your answer f of z is multiplied with the term z to the power minus k. So here is a related proof. We consider this f of n minus k u of n minus k as a g of n, and again apply here a definition of unit step function, that is if u of n minus k is 1, so we get g of n equal to f of n minus k for n greater than 0, and if u of n minus k is 0, as a unit step function having only two values 1 and 0, if we put this value equal to 0, so we get g of n equal to 0. By definition of Z transform, again we apply definition of Z transform to g of n. So we have again summation n equal to 0 to infinity g of n Z power minus n, and again split here limit, that is n equal to 0 to k minus 1 and k to infinity. First term, for first term g of n equal to 0 as we defined above, and in this term the value of g of n equal to f of n minus k into z to the power minus n. So again we try to bring z to the power n minus k. So again we adjust here term z power minus k and z power k. So again take z power minus k outside of summation sign. So we have here f of n minus k z power minus n plus k. Take minus sign common. So we have n minus k. Put again n minus k equal to m. Change the limit, n equal to k, then m equal to 0, and when n tending to infinity, m tending to infinity. So Z transform of g of n equal to, we get here z power minus k, summation m equal to 0 to infinity f of m z power minus m. Again that is the definition of Z transform. So Z transform of g of n equal to z power minus k into f of z. Hence that result. So property 7 is the initial value theorem. If Z transform of f of n equal to f of z, then f0 equal to summation z tending to infinity f of z, where f0 or f of 0 is the initial value of the sequence f of n. Similarly, by using definition, we can find f1 z tending to summation z tending to infinity z f of z minus f0, and f2 equal to summation z tending to infinity z square f of z minus f0 minus f1 z inverse up to so on. In this way, we can find here f3, f4 and so on by using definition of Z transform. Property 8 is the final value theorem. If Z transform of f of n equal to f of z, then f infinity equal to summation n tending to infinity f of n or summation z tending to 1 z minus 1 into f of z. We have no use of this property to solve the example in Z transform. Property 9 is the integral property, most important property. If Z transform of f of n equal to f of z, then Z transform of f of n upon n plus k, it is equal to z power k integral z to infinity f of z upon z plus k into dz. Again we solve this term by using definition of Z transform. Take here LHS part and apply here definition of Z transform. So we have this term. So again f of n upon n plus k into z power minus n. Again we try to bring n plus k to the power of z to the power minus n. So we adjust here term z power minus k into z power k. So after adjustment, take z power k outside of summation sign. So we have here f of n, take this n plus k to upon in the denominator of z power minus n plus k. So bring this term in form of integral with limit z to infinity. Integral summation sign is a constant with respect to integral. So take this summation sign inside of the integral sign. And z power k, z to infinity, f of z, z power k plus 1 dz. So z transform of f of n upon n plus k equal to z power k, limit z to infinity f of z upon z power k plus 1 into dz. This term become now definition of Z transform. We write summation n equal to 0 to infinity f of n z power minus n. That is definition of Z transform, and its value is f of z upon z to the power k plus 1 into dz. Hence that theorem. Now inverse Z transform. If Z transform of f of n equal to f of z, then z shift this z operator to the RHS. So it becomes Z inverse of f of z, which is equal to f of n. It is called as the inverse Z transform. There are some methods to find inverse Z transform: convolution theorem, partial fraction method, residue theorem, and power series method. Now see convolution theorem. If Z inverse of f of z is f of n, and Z inverse of g of z is g of n, then Z inverse of f of z into g of z, it is equal to summation m equal to 0 to n g of n minus m f of n. It is equal to f of n star g of n. We will apply here convolution theorem when there is a product of two sequences. This star denote here convolution theorem. So we can collaborate this example of convolution theorem. So find z inverse of z square upon z minus a into z minus b using convolution theorem. So again split this z square into z. So we get here z upon z minus n, z upon z minus b. Denote this both sequence by f of z, f of n, f of z and g of z. So f of z equal to z upon z minus a. That is Z transform of a power n, and that is z upon z minus b. It is a Z transform of b power n. Again apply here by convolution theorem. Put all these values of f of z and g of z. Here g of n minus n and f of n. If f of n is a power n, then g of n minus m. Replace here n by n minus m. So we get here b to the power n minus m. So we have here z inverse of z upon z minus a, z upon z minus b equal to b power n summation m equal to 0 to n a upon b to the power m. This series in GP. So its answer is Bn. Summation a by b to the power n plus 1 minus 1 a by b minus 1. After simplification we get this answer. Now partial fraction method. Partial fraction method we will see in our next presentation. Hope so you will like my video, and it's all the related term of Z transform, its properties, and its remaining parts of inverse Z transform and its application we will see in our next presentation. Thank you.